Hello and welcome to Automat Live Coding. Automat is a game automation tool. This is how it looks like, and it can record and replay macros. I can record a simple macro where I move my mouse. This is mouse movement, and this is a scroll wheel. And when I play this back, the same mouse movement is going to repeat. It then clicked on itself again. Anyway, so this can be used to automate some games that have boring elements. A game that you like to play but which has some grind to gain levels or experience, this can help with that. Recently, we've been working on a new system. So within Automat, there are a couple of ways to kind of make the computer do stuff for you. One of them is by recording those macros. The other is by creating a sequences of more primitive objects. Give me a sec. Each object that can be sequenced has a small cable below, so you can create, I don't know, a timer that after half a second switches a switch on or off. So cables, macros, and now we are getting the third one. The third one is called synchronization. Synchronization is already there. We worked on this for like past 2 weeks approximately. The idea with synchronization is that if you have two objects that have some sort of state that expose some standardized interface, you can synchronize them. This is how it looks right now. You just get a red line that goes to another object, and then when you press a key, this object is now monitoring this space. It can send a signal to this object and activate it. It can be used to do some fun things. For instance, I can create something that will press a mouse button. So I can synchronize this space key with this mouse button presser. So now whenever I press space, it presses the mouse button. So I don't need my left mouse button anymore. I can use space. I think this is going to be kind of fun, especially in, it's like a custom key rebinding mechanism. The system is not quite complete yet. It lacks some things like this left mouse button. It cannot itself monitor the state of the left mouse button. So this left mouse button is not really able to watch it. It's a simple thing to add, we just haven't added this yet. And more importantly, when there is this sync happening, you can see this animation here, you can see it is switching this object on and off. But I'd like to have something else. A new type of object that is going to represent the... So behind the scenes, the synchronization, it involves a special object. So between those three objects, there is a fourth one. It is hidden right now. It doesn't have a position on screen. We need to give it position. And I want this central object to look like a block of gears. So there will be a central gear, and for each object which is connected to the synchronization mechanism, we will have a smaller gear that is connected to it. Yeah, so that's the plan. And we are going to do this using Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion is a cool way to brainstorm. But before we go there, let's first try to draw a couple ideas. A sec. Okay. So this is Krita. The sidebar is very large. This is because we will spend the most time here in AI image generation tab. Right now though, I want to prototype some things. So let's say we have our key presser, which is actually, look at this. I have a tablet in front of me. I could use this tablet to draw. Maybe it doesn't matter. So right now this is looking like that. This is a key, this is a finger, which is pressing the key. The finger, I think, will be used for something else. We will just have a key. We will redesign this key presser object. So we will have a key. Maybe a power button, I don't know. Yeah, or maybe it's just going to be a key. So this key is going to expose Is there a symbol for recording? Yeah, the red dot. This is actually, yeah. I am wondering. How can we show recording as active? So this is a key, it's going to have like a letter here. F. And I want to put a dot somewhere. Hey, maybe this is another thing we could brainstorm. So let me fire up the conf UI. So this is a small program that runs in the background, which allows Krita to generate images with AI. I need to get this. Let me save this. How are we going to call this? Sync. We have a bunch of models. I'm looking at the built-in models because they are the extension that I'm using. The extension that I'm using is continuously adding new features, and I know that there are new models which are being added I see illustrious, like there is some new, I guess, model maybe here. Anyway, the one that I like. Okay, my favorite of those models is Dreamshaper, the original Dreamshaper based on Stable Diffusion 1.5. It is so stupid, but it is also so creative. It's the most artistic model out of there. It's not overfit to generate exactly what you tell it to do. You can tell it to do something, it will do something completely different. But it's very good in terms of generating nicely looking images. This is something that you can use for like vibe image generation, not like the others. The others are not as good in this. Okay. I want a good instruction following. Let me select some flags, maybe this one. So a basic image to just see if the flags is working. A single keyboard key laying on a flat surface. We can also guide it in terms of style. The style that we are going for is the product photography style, where you have some very clean and nicely arranged. This is a nice view. So let's also say top-down view. Another nice key. This is a nice key. This is a really nice key design. I don't like those sharp corners here, but shapes are kind of cool. Okay, so this is already close to what we have in Automat. Now I want to add something else. So I am going to type some nonsense, and the idea is that the model it knows the rules of visual composition. So even if I type some of the ideas here, which are kind of meaningless, hard to visualize, the model will try its best to put them together in a coherent image, something that follows whatever the model was trained on. Okay, so we will compare a couple models and see what they generate. So this is Flux. Flux is excellent at prompt following. This is nice. Changing the color of the key seems to be necessary. recording is typically associated with black color. But I want a white key. Let's see if it's possible to tell the model to generate a white key. It is going to struggle because the red light has to be somehow stylistically composed with the image of the key. It's not good because the red symbol is taking too much space. Some of those key designs are nice. I really like them, but they are not quite how keys actually look. Anyway. Yeah, we shall see. I'm now asking the AI to generate some device that features a key, but it could be more than just a key. Remember, in Automat we have this notion of iconification. So we could have an object that in its full state, it could be bigger, but it could turn into a smaller image, which is just a tiny keyboard key. Okay, so that was Flux. I don't like those new experiments. I think something like this could work best. We shall see. Let's try with other models, like Starlight. Starlight is decent. This is a version of Stable Diffusion XL. It's not as good at prompt following, so that has to be said. But there is one thing I really like, it's that it came with this idea of putting a key inside a key. And this looks kind of nice.
Beyond Thimera says,
Hey!
Hey. Those 3 images were kind of similar, but we'll make 3 more. Maybe there is something that the model can still come up with. So Starlight was one. I also like ZV Chroma. ZV Chroma is meant to generate different... It's trained on retro, like movies from the 80s. Like movie stills from the 80s. But it still retains the knowledge of those abstract concepts, so it's kind of good at generating stylized images. This is also decent. Or this. Some external red piece of plastic. It could even show itself when recording is activated. Okay. Zavi Chroma. Let's try Zavi Chroma. There was this style in the design long ago where there was this transparent plastic with light behind it. Those are just red buttons. Okay, and now my favorite model. You will see it's going to do its own thing, Dream Shaper. It totally is not going to understand anything that's written here. It's going to just generate fancy shapes. It barely even understands what a key is. It's so primitive. But the designs that it generates are kind of different and kind of nice, like this.
Are these local models?
Yeah, all of them. If you want to play with this, check out this Krita AI diffusion. It's a plugin. If you install it in Krita, it's going to set everything up for you. Yeah. And if you want to use it in a more fancy way, like install your own models, you can still do that. It's still doable. Strongly recommend. It's better than using any online tools out there. Okay, I want to generate more stuff on this Dream Shaper. I just want to check something. Fusion 1.5 resolutions. Okay, it was natively trained on 512 by 512, so I will crank down the resolution, because those models, they will work better if they generate images at the, like, this is one of the most important things with AI image generation. You need to use the right resolution to generate images. They do not generalize different resolutions. So this is what 1.5 is generating. It's generating pebble-like images. There is this one thing about 1.5 is that it's very bad at separation of concepts. So when I said there is a red recording light, it is coloring the whole picture in red. That's one thing to keep in mind. It's not perfect. I mean, this is the farthest from perfect you can go. Mm-hmm.
408034 says,
Oh, these SD 1.5 models are so bad in tech symbols. Sup math. All the best in 2026.
Hey. Nice to see you. Yeah, they are very bad, but they are good at kind of image composition. So if you zoom out of this, like I cannot zoom enough, but if you zoom out even further, you can see that those tiny images, they are really nicely structured. But yeah, they cannot understand stuff, or the, like, absolutely cannot understand anything. I'm just looking at the shapes, you know, the design ideas here. Okay, I'm going to complicate this a little bit more. So with those old models, they can be artistic, but you have to, you cannot be too specific with them. So I should say something like, oops.
They are still very impressive for the time in which they were created. Do
Yeah.
you?
I want to also add something about gears. Yeah, I guess it's time to introduce gears. Those designs are getting better now. Yeah, if you polish this, I mean, remove the totally broken letters, it's actually a pretty nice design. It's not really a single key though. So the idea for the visualization of the synchronization mechanism is to have those gears. And this is a slightly too hard of a concept for Stable Diffusion 1.5, but you can see now it's going totally crazy. It's just generating some sci-fi images. I guess the planetary is is generating this kind of is generating those circles now. But you can see a gear, it's shaped like a star. This is why I like Stable Diffusion 1.5. If you look at those images, there is so much creativity here. You do not get this with newer models. They're a little bit too sci-fi, way too sci-fi, and there is this transmission belt. Maybe I can do this. There is really not much of a transmission belt in this image.
Can you remind what you'll be using this graphic for in Automat? I just joined the stream.
Yeah, so this is what I want. Let's say I have a key. So I will actually run this in Automat first. There is a feature that we do not have UI for. The feature is that I can synchronize multiple objects together. So this left mouse button, I can synchronize it with the spacebar, and I can synchronize them with this kind of switch. So now when I press space, is this synchronized? Should be synchronized. Let me unsync everything. There's probably a bug somewhere. It's definitely a bug somewhere. Anyway, it's possible for me to make it so that the spacebar is connected to the left mouse button, and now in my system, when I press space, you can see space being pressed. It also presses the left mouse button now. So I don't need my left mouse button anymore. And it's possible to synchronize this with basically any ping that can be switched on and off. And there are plenty of pings in your desktop that could work like that. For example, like the main example is this one, the window. I want to use the window activation state. So I could synchronize the window with those keys so that they can become active or stop being active when a window is in the foreground. So there is this synchronization mechanism, and when this synchronization mechanism works, between those objects, there is a central additional object. And I want to visualize this as a set of gears. You know those gears that they are used in all... I need to stop Automat, so unsync please. Yeah. Gears icon. Those gears. A lot of user interfaces use them as a symbol. In Automat, we are going to use those gears as also a symbol for synchronization. This is what gears do, essentially. They synchronize two things. So we'll have a set of gears between. So there will be a central... I cannot draw. I'll do this again. There will be a central gear. And this button, I want to connect it to a smaller gear, which is going to be, let's say, here. And or maybe there will be no gear. Maybe no gear. So what would connect this key to the gear will be a transmission belt. So there will be a transmission belt here. And this transmission belt is going to have teeth. And it's going to wrap around the key. So whenever I press the key, this transmission belt is going to move one teeth. It's going to turn the gear, and the gear is going to move the other objects. Everything is going to happen in sync, so it's going to be very fast. But you will have this visual symbol that shows that several objects are being synchronized. So there will be a mouse here. And this key is going to be, the active one, and it's also going to be connected with a transmission belt. The idea is, this is the idea. Now this has to be implemented in a way which doesn't produce too much visual noise, but the metaphor that we are going for is going to look like that. So, and there is going to be a switch. Oh. I'm drawing mouse. Switch. Our switch has this yin-yang shape. And it's also going to have gear connection. But the switch has to be redesigned as well. And I have drawn them in a very, like, this is very large. It's going to be way, way smaller. Basically, and there is going to be one more element. Those gears, those transmission belts, they will be able to connect not only to the object, but also to a fragment of an object. So this is why I wanted to have a separate field on the key for the record icon. So I want to have like a red record icon here. And I want to be able to connect a different set of gears to the record icon. Oh, and one more element. Those gears, those transmission belts, they will have teeth, right? And those teeth, they are rectangular, but there will be several different types of teeth. Because some objects, they can send notifications that something has happened, but they cannot make it happen, like sensors. A sensor can only tell me that, hey, something just happened, so it's going to be able to push the gear. So those sensors, they will have maybe gears, maybe shaped like that. We will design this nicely. I don't want it to look too much like a saw, but that's kind of the idea. We will try different shapes. And some objects, they cannot send notifications, they can only receive them. And they will have the opposite shape. They will be shaped like that. So this shape indicates that a gear, which is located here, I'm assuming that gears turn clockwise. So this is a type of transmission belt that can only be pushed. It cannot push itself. It's a one-directional clutch. And this is a type of transmission belt that is... it works in the other direction. It can only it can only push the gear. It cannot be pushed by the gear. So in Automat, when you have different objects, you will be able to like swap different types of transmission belts. And connect however many objects you want to this central gear. So that's the plan. And those designs, so Stable Diffusion is kind of going crazy. So this is as close to vibe coding as you can get when it comes to image generation. We do have some transmission belts. Let's stress that this is IBM keyboard key. Let's try Starlight. So Starlight is going, it's going to try to follow the prompt a little bit better. The Stable Diffusion XL models are still not perfect, they are far from perfect. But they are much more obedient. So they try to generate more like what you are telling them to do. And let's try Flux. And I guess I'm going to change this. So this is Flux. Flux is totally confused. It's just generating very simple key images. I guess I can cancel probably this now and try generating once again. I think this recording icon is going to be the best, but I don't know how to draw a transmission belt now. Yeah, you can see that Flux it's totally following the prompt. This is like as good as it gets. This is a very abstract image. You see transmission belt. No, it's not what I mean. This is what I was thinking about. also be like that. Yeah, so typically if you have clutch, typically clutch is done totally differently. It doesn't use those teeth. Nice gear. Oh, I should increase the resolution again. Okay, let's do a proper design. I will fire up Z. I am going to change this to green screen. So I want to extract some images for the collage. So I'm running Automat in a green screen mode. It's going to replace the background with green, so it's easier to cut stuff out. Let's change this key to F. $100 was best. So this is our key in the center. We will also have a mouse. And the on-off switch. It's too small. Whatever, that's fine. Let's grab one of those gears, something that's looking nice. I guess the first question is, do we want to make them out of metal or plastic? Actually, this material feels the nicest to me. This metal is also nice. I like this gray one. Okay, so this color and the shape maybe can generate. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Connection angle. What? What is this? Let's say 90. Number of teeth. 8 is a nice number. Each diameter. So what is the diameter of this thing?
Wantonit says,
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hey, thanks. Same to you. Yeah, it's New Year's Eve. I'm afraid I will have to end earlier today, but I still have some time. I still need to clean the house. Pressure angle. Too many teeth. 8. 6 is too few. Okay, this is generating a flower-like shape. It's kind of nice. And this is making the gear more... yeah, actually even more flower-shaped. think the gears that I'm generating right now, I was actually changing the wrong one. I feel no engineer would design them like that.
Meister Chica says,
Morning.
Hey. What is happening here? I definitely do not want to have too many teeth, and I want those teeth to have square ends. Yep, be right back. Okay, I'm back. I could design a proper system of gears. There's one thing I think could be a problem here. It's that they are always two-directional. They mesh perfectly. There's zero backlash here. And the gears in Automat, they are supposed to be directional sometimes. I'm actually wondering whether this is such a good idea. Maybe it's not. Maybe I can design a simpler gears in just SVG. But this color I like. Switch this off, and let's add some SVG shape here. I need the SVG layer. And this should be... me grab those colors. This will be top color and bottom color. I think I will do this differently. Okay, now I want to add more like the teeth. Wasn't there an option to arrange them somehow? If I want to have 8 gears, and I clone this, I cannot. For vector graphics, Inkscape, I guess, is better. So this is the central gear. I can also remove the white spot in the center. Actually not remove this, I will just paint this white. I'm just trying to add some more depth to this. Something like this. I don't know. Very simple pseudo 3D gear shape. We will do this in a shader anyway, the one that we will do in Automat. This is just a placeholder. So now the central gear needs to be connected to those objects. So first of all, on this F here, we are going to have a red icon, this record icon. Let's find a nice record icon. That one looks cool. I will try to extract this icon from here. It's not going to be easy. And this icon, this symbol. Okay, let's see. Can I... Here? Yeah, it actually kind of fits. Nice. And that image I just saved, I will double click this so that it's saved. To keep this below the background. It's very similar to this record icon. Now, what I want, that may be a new layer. So let's say I want to use this as a record only symbol, so it's going to have this shape. It's receiver, and this is send only. Send only, receive only, or maybe there is a better terminology for this. This is source. And this is sync. So the transmission belt, I would like it to be a thin thing. It should be pretty much a straight line. And it should surround the object, or like the field on the object, which is if is being part of the mechanism. And this is going to be a regular full sync. So this will have regular gears. There will be a gear here. I think the teeth Those gears should be smaller. Give me a sec. There are fireworks outside, and the dog is scared because of them. Yeah. Fireworks, yeah, definitely I kind of like them, but for animals this is the worst part of New Year's. The dog feels safer now. Okay, so there will be 2 more belts here. I also want to draw a belt going to this button. And the idea here is that this button is going to be a sync. So it's only going to receive messages. It's not going to generate them. Draw another line. Should be 5 pixels. this hand icon, I said I want to get rid of those hand icons, so I think the hand is going to go away. But for now, for the purposes of this design, I will just treat the hand as part of the button. And this is a thing, so with this kind of shape. I would tweak the colors here, should probably be slightly darker. Otherwise it's probably fine. Okay, the last object, this one. This is going to be a source only. I'm actually not sure if this is readable. Probably not. So this gear, I guess it's turning this way. This one is turning this way. Yeah, the readability is not going to be super good here. Actually wonder, maybe it's possible to create those transmission belts in such a way that the arrows would signal the direction. I mean, this just begs to be like an arrow, like a sequence of arrows. Maybe this should be like that. So this is source. No. Even for me it's hard. So this is definitely not the right way to visualize them. But I just want to have a template right now, something I can iterate on. So how can I resolve this double arrow problem? Option 1. So option 1 will be to darken the inactive part of the belt, like make it more transparent. Another option would be to somehow make both parts of the belts have the same arrow.
Wantonity 8 says,
Maybe to make toots bigger for active.
Yeah, the inactive ones could shrink. Yeah, I'm afraid it's not used. The system is used in clocks. Some clocks, when they have pendulums, they have teeth who force the pendulum only pushes the mechanism in one direction. It's not used on those kinds of belts, unfortunately. Source, this is sync. This is source plus sync. The one thing which is, I guess, slightly confusing here is that the objects which participate in this system, they turn clockwise, but the gear turns counterclockwise. It's very hard to imagine how clockwise and counterclockwise works. It's not a very... I mean, the concept of clockwise and counterclockwise, it is fairly universal, kind of cross-cultural and so on. But it's not easy to imagine. You need to have... I don't have this kind of imagination to think about this in my head. It should be simpler.
Pivo 1960 says,
Hi, bro.
Hey,
Where are you from?
I thought you've been around on stream for long enough to know I'm from Poland. So it is still 2025 here. Okay, there is one thing I can do here with AI image generation. I can actually ask the AI to regenerate this image in a different style. Maybe the stuff that the AI comes up with maybe it will help up with this problem. I mean, it's not like it's impossible to solve. We already have two good solutions. But I think there could be a better one. Okay, here is an idea. Maybe those belts, maybe they could actually turn so that when they kind of like here, where the belt turns by 90 degrees, they can do this. So they could actually interface with the gear vertically, but they could travel, from the gear to the object horizontally. An idea. And if they travel in a horizontal orientation, you would see you would literally see a line with an arrow, and that arrow would tell you in which direction the information is traveling. And okay, let's actually try Dreamshaper. Dreamshaper can do crazy things. So first of all, I will run this at 100%. So it will generate this prompt from scratch. We'll see what it comes up with.
Do you remember Morocco?
Yeah. I never been there, but maybe one day I will. It's generating very sci-fi designs. I guess this is what you get if you use Dreamshaper. And this one is not so crazy. Okay.
Hi, I'm 22 from Morocco, and thinking about doing a master's and living in Europe. Some families say life is expensive there even if salaries are higher, while in Morocco salaries are lower, but living costs are cheaper. What do you think?
Yeah, so if you are going to work in tech, living in a low-cost country, it's like a cheat code to life. So Poland is actually it used to be on a cheaper side, it's getting more expensive. But I used to work in Switzerland, so, earning in Swiss francs and living in a much cheaper country, it's It's pretty great. It's pretty great. It works really nice.
Enjoy your programming, touch 2.
Yeah. Then absolutely. Then it's so you don't really have to move permanently. So what I was doing is I was just commuting a lot to work. I was literally flying every week to work there and spending the week, in Switzerland where I was working. Now there is remote work. I didn't actually do remote work when I worked at Google, but now it's an option. Some people do remote work. So this is nice. I think the most important part about the place where you live is to be able to feel at home, and Morocco has an amazing climate. So this is probably one of the best things about that place. It's like there is no winter, basically. I actually met a guy from Morocco not a long time ago. There was a cooking class. Yes, my wife took me to a cooking class, and he showed us how to make some breads. And there is a lot of how is it called? Let me translate. Eggplant, yeah, or aubergine used in Moroccan kitchen. I had no idea that eggplant can't taste so good. Okay, so Dream Shaper is coming up with some crazy ideas. I am slowly lowering the strength of... So the AI is doing less and less work, and it's using more and more of what I have drawn here. It's literally taking this image as a starting point and iterating on that. Along the way, it may generate some interesting designs.
I did understand my English. So bad I understand just you try eat from Morocco.
Yeah, at least we have some kind of common language. Even if we're both bad at it. I will lower it even more. And if you look at those images, you may think that they are totally messed up. And they are. The shapes are totally messed up. They don't mean anything. But the colors, they are much more if you look at the original and some of the stuff generated by AI, you will see that it took all of the color composition and made it more coherent. For this white and this white, they are now similar.
Meister Chica says,
Yeah. Don't order tortilla in Spain and exact Mexican bread.
Yeah, so I heard the two nicest places in Morocco are Marrakesh and Fez. Fez? Is this right? Is Fez in Morocco? Yes. And there was one more city that somebody mentioned. Oh yeah, somebody also mentioned Casablanca, but the guy from Morocco that I've met, he didn't even mention Casablanca. It's a place worth visiting.
Thevo1960 says,
Yes, right, and I'm from Fes HH.
Nice. So he said that Fez has the most kind of historic architecture. This is the nice city to visit. I'm just repeating what he said. I will improve the prompt a little bit. Actually, this is pretty decent prompt.
And the best thing is that Fez has the first university in the world. Al-Qarayan.
Nice. Lower the strength even more, 20%. The AI is definitely improving the gears. It's adding a subtle contour to them. Makes them look nicer. At this point, it's not really improving much. All generations are similar. Let's try a different model. Let's try, we will go up the ladder of abstraction slowly. So let's start with Starlight or Stable Diffusion XL. And I need to improve the resolution. So this is at 100%. This is the model generating this image from scratch, just from the text description. Which frankly isn't that bad. It's definitely much more coherent than 1.5. Okay, let's do 90%. We'll be going down slowly. There is a hand, like an actual hand. This gear is nice. I like those colors. I am saving this image for later. I will hide it in the background. Yeah. This is a nice gear material. Okay, let's go to 80%. This one has a flat transmission belt. So on this flat transmission belt, we would draw arrows, and those arrows would indicate the direction of information. And the belt, it would twist near the belt, near the central gear, and this is where you would see the teeth mesh with the gear correctly. So I will also save this one. This is a mouse. A computer mouse. It's a really cute one. Let's keep lowering this strength. 70. The classic gears icon for this one. They're so universal. Okay, and that was 70, let's try 60. So at this point, it started generating belts with actual teeth, which is nice. Continue. I'm really mostly interested in the belt.
How was university life in your country? Did you attend lectures, have philosophy discussions, or political talks in the campus park? In my university, if the government does something we don't like students go out and protest. Did you have that too?
A little bit. There was this legislation called ACTA. Something like this. There were big protests back then, but we didn't really had a lot of political discussions. It was a a University of Technology, so it's philosophy and topics like that, they only came about actually after finishing masters during the PhD course. But I did enjoy university a lot. The nicest thing about university was that the professors, they had very interesting specialties. They specialized in things that were totally about which people totally didn't care. We had one professor. She was a specialist in agent-based systems, and that was 2010s, right? It was like 15 years ago. So there was a trend in scientific literature about agent-based systems, but the idea back then, it was that everybody would have software agents that they would send out into the network, into the internet, and they would somehow jump between servers and perform work for the people who kind of send them to do some work. This is not how agents work. Agents are actually very heavy. It's very hard to transmit a state of an agent from one machine to the other. But that was fun. That was like agent-based systems. And we had exams from this. Or another professor, that was my advisor actually, who specialized in neural networks. And neural networks were actually not the best technique in the toolbox. If you actually wanted to get good results, you wouldn't use neural networks. Neural networks were more of an interesting approach, but not the one that would win competitions. A change of model flux now. And yeah, the techniques that they showed were techniques that you don't really see online at all. Like for the neural networks, when you optimize them, you wouldn't use regular gradient descent or regular ADAM optimizer. They would use something called Marquardt.
That good this who we can said that she have real PhD.
Yeah, so for example, this is how we would train neural networks. Nobody's doing this like that. This is a slightly weirder technique, but it converges slightly faster than gradient descent. A flux sometimes can surprise. This gear has a really nice shape. Oh wow, I like this shape.
I knew DL. Deep learning.
Yeah, and there was no deep learning at my university because it was deep learning really came about when the ImageNet appeared. That was 2012 something. And I think it was Jan Lekan. He made some of those nice demos where he showed, maybe it wasn't him, maybe it was somebody else, how to train a neural network which is 200 layers deep, but still works. Why did I save this? I don't like this. Oh, this is just a preview. let's go to 90. Refine. Yeah, so when I was studying neural networks, the whole field was still under the influence of this old paper, which claimed that you can replace any that a neural network with a single hidden layer is a universal function. It can approximate any function. There was a paper like that in the 80s, and because of that, the interest in deep neural networks. The paper is obviously flawed because the size of the hidden layer is going to be huge. If you want to use a single hidden layer neural network to approximate a transformer, for instance. But simple arguments work. So this is what discouraged people from exploring this idea. Fabric. Fabric is nice. Use fabric in the design.
Are those images AI generated, like by Gemini?
Yeah, this is all local AI though, so it's all generated on my PC. It's very fun. If you want to play with AI generation, I do recommend trying local models. You don't have to wait for some cloud service to generate images for you. It's very fast, and it's easy to experiment. Oh, this is a nice design. Very sharp. Those sine waves. So first of all, those are proper sine waves. Second of all, this is a nice idea to use sine waves to do signal stuff. I remember there was a sound processing environment that used this idea. Remember the name. Okay, let's lower these to 70 and refine again. Actually, Flux is... So, the only problem with Flux is that it is generating those over-sharpened images. It's full of 100% black, 100% white. It's like the image went through some filter to sharpen it. Chains, that's interesting. I guess this is the closest to my original design. It's wavy. Something nice about those wavy lines. Those spikes. Don't touch this hand. This is another nice shading. I mean, I don't like the stuff in the center, I am going to save this as a reference. And I am lowering this value more and more. At this point, it's following the original picture really well. It's not introducing interesting things anymore. Yeah. So one more thing I can do. At 30%, it's not going to be interesting at all. I can try generating an edge mask, a rough edge mask, like a Sobel filter, and use this Sobel filter to guide the network. Let me add control layer, soft edge. I will do this. And click generate. So this is going to generate an image kind of from scratch, but this new image from scratch is going to follow these edges here. Yeah, the model is too confused. Let's try with Starlight, the same. And generate. And lastly with Dream Shaper. Generate. It's going to take a while, but it's going to generate all of them. Control layers, they tend to damage the intelligence of the model. So it's getting a little bit stupider. You can see that just lowering the strength of generation was actually giving better results. 70 or 60, it was actually pretty decent. Yeah. Okay, so those were 5 images from Flux. Next will be 5 images from Stable Diffusion XL. Not great, not great. This one's not bad, but everything is kind of flat here. And finally, Dream Shaper. Dream Shaper is, because it's the most stupid of all models, you cannot really damage it with control layers too much. It's still going to generate similarly silly images, but you can see the creativity that it adds here, like this background. Just look at this. It's like compared to all of the others. So this is Flux, 5 images from Flux, 5 images from Stable Diffusion XL, and 5 images from Dream Shaper, which is the oldest of those models. This is also the most interesting and creative one. This composition is just insane. You can basically take this image and use this as a stylistic reference for the whole game. Generate more. Maximum. And oh, I should have lowered the resolution. It's not even working at its native resolution here. So this is Dream Shaper at a native resolution. You can see that it is actually adding more creativity here, much more creativity. I'm interested mostly in gears, so gears and those mechanisms here. What could we use? Like this image, it's just crazy. Nice texture. Okay, so fun ideas, but let's go back to the stuff that we have. So this is a nice way of shading the gears. I'm not going to use this in the image. I'm just going to keep this as a reference. This is the shape I really like. Can I cut it? Not quite. Okay, so I want this shape.
Meister Chica says,
What was website you used some time ago for AI image generation?
That was Civit AI. Yep. So if you look at Civit AI, one problem with Civit AI is that it has mostly images of girls. Like they always get the most upvotes. So I do recommend setting up filters. Yeah, and I've just put woman because otherwise you just have images of girls, and there is so much more on CVTI. This is cool.
Which AI image gen does not have anime girls, dogs, and cats?
Yep. The nicest ones are the ones which are imitating a very specific style of images. AI generated. Cool one. My favorite category is this. There are even a couple collections on the site where people collect the art-like images.
Docs. And sorry to all dogos for calling them docs.
For gears. Transmission belt? Not really. Yeah, it doesn't have super specific.
And I have just realized some people will be very unhappy tomorrow when Clue 8 2-back's usage ends.
Oh yeah, this is what we wanted. So this is the gear material reference. Delete everything else. Gear shape. This is.
Or maybe they finally listen to community and bump up usage limits.
I haven't hit usage limits in a long time, actually. So this is probably because they increased them for December, right? For the holidays. From this one, this is where I liked the belt.
Yeah.
Really flat. Red light. Okay. Okay, I'm looking at all this, and I actually think that we seem to already have everything we would want. I think the only remaining thing is actually put this in the shader. Let me think about how to solve the direction problem. We want to reduce the contrast. No, that would be weird. I don't like it. This one will be problematic because it breaks the metaphor of a belt. If the two arrows point in the same direction, what direction should the gear turn? Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, this is what the type of gear that I had in mind. It's called escapement. Actually, no, it's not the same. So this is how a spring can drive a pendulum. I mean, a pendulum can slowly extract energy from a spring. There is a different type. Not an escapement. Yeah, I'm not an expert in this. I think we'll go for this. So this central gear, I want to first of all make it out of this material in this shape. I think I can do this in a shader. I don't need to prototype this. The belt is going to be tricky. Maybe I can draw some belt images. New layer. This is basically the idea here. So we'll have some... There will be some very subtle shapes here. Change this brush. That will indicate that they are holding the belt flat or vertically. And here we will have an arrow, right? Change the brush. So this is an example of a turn of a belt. Yeah, and the idea here is that the belt that you see, even though the arrows show down, they look like arrows, they are not really arrows. Those are teeth of these belts. It will be like triangular or something like that. they actually move up. Here will be example how this would look. Wrong layer. Oops. Oh, I'm not sure if it's going to be easy to draw a line that is kind of twisting. Or maybe it will be. We will see. We will definitely be playing with shaders soon. Okay, I want to take this shape and play with it. Inkscape. Maybe Inkscape ahead. There it is. It's out. and put it here, and start with just a simple basic shape. So this is a star really. Yeah, 14 corners. I think this is a pretty nice shape as well. It's randomization. Okay, no, I don't want that. And what if we reduce the number of corners to just 8? I would like this bottom edge to be... I want to have sharp edge here. Okay, let's try to do something. I will draw a silly shape. And let's do this. Edit, create, tilted nodes. Let's have 1 row, 8 columns. Rotation per column.
URL.
I don't want to deal with templates until 2026. Bosh duh.
Do is an argument pack, okay. So you've added the logical operations, I see.
It's not a bug, it's an exploit on template system.
Regular cast first. This is getting more and more complex. What was this cast info defined? Here. Oh, this is now this is proper template metaprogramming. Even divide different functions. Like the function of this template is to calculate some return type. This checks if cast is possible.
It had to be done, I'm sorry.
So for this cast is possible, this is a boolean, right?
I'm really hoping for CP26 reflection.
So this is returning a boolean, kind of. This template is a boolean. And typically you can replace those with concepts. In the concepts, they can use, I think, context functions. Or not. Anyway, context concepts. They seem to be more, or maybe not. Because it needs multiple arguments. I don't know. Concept is a single argument function.
It boils down to bool, yes, but multi-type Name templates are hard to make into concepts.
Yeah. So I still want to pull this in, but now I need to read through this and understand what it does. There is probably some tests, yeah. It's kind of really what matters, the interface.
I can give you amalgamation script if that will make your life easier.
No need. Yeah. It all relies on this single line here. Yeah, I will read this later. There is tests, they seem to be most important to me. There is one thing in tests, this is the kind of library that the point of this library is to print errors. So the errors that it outputs are kind of important. It's possible to make nice errors with templates, but it's like another level of template magic.
Yeah, cast as invalid. And you only get usual compiler vomit. And I definitely need to write documentation, or I will forget what I was doing by 2026 botch.
Okay, so this is for pointer types. So this is like stealing the ownership.
Yes. To be otherwise.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, otherwise it's double free. It's not undefined behavior. It's very well defined. Interesting. I guess those functors, it's probably easier to just write a lambda that will do this if you need them. Yeah. Why does it say 5.6 degrees per column?
They are there more to provide correct instantiation order of templates, since lambdas can be stripped and slimmed down by compilers at comptime.ch.
I'm not sure I get it.
But for that, O2 is required hierarchical. Some lambdas can get compiled down to 2 local functions, and then when linker steps in their machine code, we'll just get in line at call locations.
Now I should be able to edit my gear. Ah, yeah. So you want to make sure that the code is properly reused across translation units. It's a decent goal.
That would no be issue in Colonel land where Nos Delib, Nos Dink, and freestanding flags are used. Modern compiler like to assume a lot for optimizations.
Actually, casting is something that I think inlining probably wouldn't hurt it much, because the point of cast is to be, just a couple of instructions. I'm not sure if having a function call actually makes it better or not. I guess this looks like a proper gear now. It has this straight and curved line. Yeah, they mesh nicely. You want them even flat. This is quite far from the original shape I had here. Let me also do one more thing. I want to see how the teeth could look like. Let's start with this. Does it fit? I rotate it. Be like that. It almost fits. I will use it to be a little bit wider. We go back here. Okay, so source. Let's do source. The right side should be flat. Okay. I guess this is enough design. I guess with this design we could probably go and try to write a shader for the belt and for the gear. I think belt will be harder. One thing is, I think we could draw this belt as a single rectangle with a shader. That's what I hope. Yeah, we will parameterize it in some way. Yeah, should be working nicely. I think this is what we will do on Friday. We will try to implement the shader for this belt. And yeah, we will see if it works out. I will try to aim for this kind of texture, but we will do texturing later. Right now we want to have a flat belt with triangles that can animate, they can move, and the belt should be able to rotate when it's near the edge. And the triangle will also rotate here. It may seem complex, but I think it's doable. It should be doable. Yeah, I could, for example, say that the height of the triangle is the half of the width of the belt. So when viewed from the side, yeah, it could work. It could work. Yeah, I guess that's it. We have planned for next stream, and yeah. So this is the New Year's Eve. So Happy New Year's, and see you next year. Bye bye.